Every maker looks at some 3D STL models and goes, yeah, that's cool, but is that Middle-earth cool? Because if you're a Tolkien fan, you know The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings aren't just stories, they're a complete vibe. Cozy vibe, epic vibe, and occasionally giant dragon problem vibes. Today we're diving into the top Hobbit and Lord of the Rings 3D prints. Everything from the full cartoon version models to prints that make your bookshelf look like they belong to Bag End. If you're new here, I'm Brian DeLuca and this is Make or Build It. And today we're diving into prints we don't technically need, but spiritually require. First off is the cartoon version of The Hobbit. These ones I printed on my resin printer. These are prints that you knock out fast and you have fun with and immediately want to paint. These cartoon style Hobbit prints are perfect, especially considering I grew up on the cartoon version of The Hobbit and it was one of my favorite books as a kid. Now you can also print Hobbit minifigures. This is a category where various different fandoms collide. Lego style Lord of the Ring minifigures are awesome because they're instantly recognizable, they photograph well, and they work great on your desk or shelf piece. And you can even print the Witch King in massive scale. Now there's also Hobbit and Lord of the Ring weapons, which are right in the Make or Build It territory. Because if you own a 3D printer and you don't print fantasy props, at some point, I really don't know what to tell you. We're talking things like Sting and Orcrist. They're great wall hangers or cosplay props, or just don't ask why shop decorations. Now there's also book nooks, and what better to be Hobbit or Lord of the Rings inspired than a book nook. This one is Gandalf with the butterfly in his hand, but there are a lot of them of Bag End. Book nooks are sneakily impressive. They don't look like much when they're on your printer, but once you have them on your bookshelf, they actually look magical. Obviously, you can see this one I printed in various different colors. I had a lot of little spools of filament, and I just wanted to finish them because I do plan on painting this Gandalf book nook. And if you really want to get super fancy, what I would recommend is adding some LED lights in this to light up your bookshelf. The One Ring. The One Ring is a fast print, and you can print it on your FDM printer, or you could print it in resin. It's an absolute must for every Tolkien fan. Print it, but make sure you put it somewhere safe. Just don't whisper to it, that's how problems start. Or put it on your finger. So you can print a ton of wall art and display pieces. This is one of those pieces that go right above the corner of your door frame, but there are a ton of other Hobbit and Lord of the Rings pieces of art out there if you're interested in producing some wall art. There are also a ton of miniatures, just like these cartoon ones, of all of the characters from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Here's some goblins, elves, and dwarves that I even created. I'll link them in the description below if you want to print them. But if you want very specific characters from The Hobbit, there are a lot of models out there to choose from. And because of the high detail, I would recommend printing them in resin because they make really good painting projects. I recently even saw at Barnes & Noble, I think it was a Lord of the Rings box set for D&D 5e, which was pretty cool. Now, there are also a ton of wearables and helmets, such as Sauron's crown. There are other types of crowns or headgear or even Rivendell elven helmets that you could print. These are usually pretty big prints, pretty long prints. This one was probably about total of, I want to say about 8 hours because it was various different pieces and it was assembled. But they are instantly satisfying when they're done. I mean, how cool does Sauron's crown look? They're great for display or cosplay. And finally, the final boss, Smaug. Because what type of Hobbit print list would be complete without this red dragon? Like I said, I did print it as art, but as you can see here, I have red dragons all over the shop. And Smaug may be one of my favorite dragons to ever exist in all of Mythos or D&D. From a full statue to a bust to some wall art, this is one of those mic drop categories. If you print Smaug, you win. And that's my list of the top Hobbit and Lord of the Ring Tolkien prints. If you want links to any of these models, I will put them down below, and also make sure to share your favorites. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow Maker Build It, and remember, keep on making. Oh, and remember, all we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given to us. That's not my quote, that's Gandalf, or Tolkien.